The Birth of a Star. Her full name is Adele Laurie Blue Atkins, but she is known worldwide only as Adele. She is an English singer, born on May 5, 1988, in the British city of Tottenham, north of London. She is the daughter of Englishwoman Penny Atkins, and Welshman Mark Evans, an alcoholic man who abandoned them when Adele was only 2 years old, leaving her mother with the responsibility of raising her. Her mother then became an essential support, since she was who encouraged Adele's interest in music, by taking her to concerts as a child. Perhaps that is the reason why, being only 4 years, Adele began to sing, being interested since then in the different tones of voices, and having the Spice Girls as their inspiration and most important influence. In 1997, at the age of 9, Adele and her mother moved to Brighton. 2 years later, when she was 11 years old, they returned to London, settling in Brixton, and then in West Norwood. In 2003, at the age of 14, she discovered CDs by Etta James and Ella Fitzgerald, at a jazz antique store, and this was an awakening for her. As she began to listen to Etta James during that time an hour every day, and such routine led her to know her own voice. That same year, she entered the BRIT School of Arts. A year later, in 2004, she wrote and composed the song Hometown Glory, which refers to the district of West Norwood, having by then 16 years. Then, in May 2006, Adele graduated from the art school, where they had also studied renowned artists, such as Amy Winehouse, Katie Melua, and Kate Nash. 4 months later, she published 2 songs in the online magazine of performing arts.
Give us your life story in 30 seconds.
I was born in Tottenham, moved to Brighton when I was 9, moved to Brixton when I was 10, went to normal rubbish rough school, and then I went to the BRIT school for 4 years, did music, and then when I was 16 I wrote Hometown Glory, and somehow, without even realising, my own voice just kind of popped up. So I think that was when I started writing my own tunes that happened.
So was Hometown Glory the first?
Yeah.
And what inspired that?
I had a meeting with my school about going to university, and my mum thought I should go to Liverpool, but I didn't want to. I wanted to stay in London. So I ran upstairs and wrote it, and then come back downstairs. I was like, "This is why I'm staying," and then she was like, "Fair enough." And I stayed. I was gonna go to Liverpool though. I got in, but I got a record deal.
So
I'm gonna stay.
You performed to your mum?
Oh yeah, I would perform to my mum.
Right.
Yeah, she's my
that must have
best
been,
critic.
I guess you could say that perhaps the most important performance that you've done so far then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hometown Glory caught the attention of London record label, XL. At 18 years old, and just 6 months after her graduation, Adele signed to the label, and began her career. In October 2007, Adele officially released her debut song, Hometown Glory, that was composed years before. She also released her second single Chasing Pavements, which received a good critique, and led to different media broadcasting her music on different radios, and even invited her to interpret her songs.
Anyone I could call? No one, thank you, please, madame. I ain't lost, just wondering. Around my hometown, memories of fresh. Around my hometown, ooh, the people I've made are the wonders of my world. Are the wonders of my world. Are the wonders of this world. Are the wonders of my world.
In January 2008, Adele released her debut studio album 19, and shortly thereafter, she won the prestigious Brit Critics' Choice Award. 19 saw nearly instant success in the UK, debuting at number 1, and helping its single Chasing Pavements reach number 2. But it wasn't until Adele signed a deal with American label Columbia in summer 2008, that the album gained real momentum in the States.
It's kind of happened really quickly, and suddenly, because it kind of started building when I released Hometown Glory, like the first little single, which got a ridiculous kind of amount of coverage, like considering it was such a low-key thing. And it's nice, you know. Obviously, I love singing anyway, but having people actually like it and getting praise for it, it's amazing. And getting like an award for it It's ridiculous, wicked. Like not ridiculous in bad, like you know. Yeah, no, it's really really good, and it's but it feels like a good build up. Doesn't feel too much or nothing. So yeah, it's really good.
In the fall of 2008, a series of serendipitous events helped Adele secure 4 Grammy nominations. She played on Saturday Night Live in October alongside host Sarah Palin, an episode that saw the show's highest ratings in 14 years. The Washington Post reported that within 24 hours of the SNL episode's airing, Adele's debut album hit #1 on iTunes. Coincidentally, that was also when Grammy voting wrapped up, and by December, Adele had her first Grammy nominations. On February 2009, she won 2 Grammys, among them Best New Artist. And like that, she was firmly established as a powerful force in the industry.
You look very mature.
Oh, thank you very much.
TV Guide just tried to give you alcohol.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I don't drink anyway.
Going to jail. Okay, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
How does this feel?
Amazing. It's starting to sink in now. I'm kind of like talking to people, but I'm just really shocked. I just want to see my mum and like, Mum.
Is she here?
No, I didn't want her to come in case I lost. I didn't want her to be disappointed. And then I called her afterwards, and she's just like crying her eyes out. And she stayed at my apartment at home in London, so she could smell me, like smell the linen and stuff like that.
That
But
is
I'm over the moon.
amazing.
Yeah.
So how do you celebrate 2 Grammy wins in one night?
I'm gonna go put my jeans on.
Yeah.
Like my dress, but I just don't like Spanx. I've got a pair of Spanx on.
Oh yeah, I have those too.
Yeah, they're a bit annoying after a while.
Yeah.
And just gonna have some cigarettes and just hang out with my manager and my friends.
Adele's first known love was the man who inspired her first musical masterpiece, 19. She dumped him after he cheated on her. He inspired the songs Chasing Pavements, Cold Shoulder, Melt My Heart to Stone, First Love, Right as Rain, and Tired. In 2009, when Adele embarked on her first tour, An Evening with Adele, she was introduced to a man 10 years older than her, which means he would have been 30 at that time. When they started dating, Adele eventually ended up canceling the remainder of the tour to spend time with him, something that critics responded negatively to, and Adele later regretted. In April of that same year, Adele started working on her second album, 21. Take It All was the first song written for 21. Despite Adele's doubts, she and British musician, songwriter, and producer Egg White intended to write a song similar to Chasing Pavements, which they wrote together for 19. Their initial idea was eventually scrapped, while Take It All, a ballad consisting solely of piano and vocals, was conceived instead. Adele wrote Take It All about the man who inspired 21, which turned out to be about the early stages of a relationship falling apart. A few days after writing it, she performed it for him, and he broke up with her 2 weeks later, sparking the inspiration for the record.
This one's called 21 and my first album was called 19, and it appears to be a running theme that I call my albums after my age at the time when I'm sort of right in the thick of it, and I was 21 when I wrote and recorded and handed in this record. Whether or not I continue doing it, I don't know. When people on my first album were like, oh, your second album, your sophomore album be 21, I was like, no, I do have an imagination, guys. But I ended up calling it 21. So unless something really poignant and life-defining happens that's worthy enough of being titled after my age, then I don't know if I'll carry on. But yeah, it's tied in at the moment. My first album was also all about one guy. This one was just a more intense relationship that 21's about. It was my first grown-up intense relationship. It was all or nothing. We did everything together. It was no longer me or I or him. It was us, we, them, they. And that was the first time that ever happened to me. And I changed in a million ways when I was with him, in good ways and then probably bad ways that will come and haunt me and bite me on the But my friends and family hated him, but I loved him, and I can give advice until I'm blue in the face, but I cannot take advice And it just made me eager for life in general and like hungry to learn about things. And I'd never been like that. I was always quite a stubborn person. I was a teenager as well before I met him, so what I knew was all I needed to know. And now it's like I'm just like a sponge trying to soak everything up, and we just fell out of love. It was devastating. There was nothing to blame, unlike my first boyfriend who cheated on me. So it was like, well, yeah, you know, you slept with another girl, that's the reason we're not together. This time it was like, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know, he didn't do anything wrong. Just stopped loving each other, which is more devastating than having a specific reason. And I felt like a complete failure, and only recovered about 3 months ago. So yeah, it's a long thing. It was the love of my life, and it was just bad timing.
Following the breakup, Adele went into the studio the very next day, and came up with Rolling in the Deep, the first official single and track from her second album 21. Turning Tables, written with Brian Tedder, was an extremely accurate musical interpretation of Adele's relationship with her boyfriend. Tedder had showed up 4 hours early to the studio, and came up with the idea of Turning Tables, without even realizing it related to her perfectly. The song Someone Like You was also written about the anonymous ex-boyfriend of Adele, after finding out from a very close friend that he had become engaged, shortly after their relationship ended. The song was one of the few tracks in which Adele approached him pleadingly, rather than in an accusatory manner. Don't You Remember, the final track written for the album, addresses him in a similar way. Additionally, Rumor Has It was written about the rumors that Adele's own friends were spreading about her love life and breakup with her mysterious man, making it indirectly inspired by her relationship with him. 21 was released in 2011. The album was a resounding commercial success, which earned her the 4th best-selling album of all time. 5 singles were released to promote the album, with Rolling in the Deep, Someone Like You, and Set Fire to the Rain becoming international #1 songs, while Rumor Has It charted in the top 20 across Europe and North America. Critics hailed the album as a shift from the overtly sexual and musically bombastic status quo, and attributed its success to its deeply autobiographical, yet universal songs.
We are sending all our love to Adele at the moment. The poor girl has had to postpone the first 2 dates for her UK tour after catching a chest infection. She was meant to be playing in Plymouth yesterday and Bournemouth today, but sadly had to pull out. She has not had the best of luck this year, as she was also forced to cancel some of her US tour after going down with laryngitis.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the Art Docs Art channel to never miss new uploads. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up, and leave your thoughts in the comments section, and share if you care.